thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was. And Stan, he also he created his own characters. I- in his, I mean, he was well into his 70s and 80s when I mean, he was still creating new characters. He worked with a smaller publishing company called Boom Studios, and he created about I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6 brand new characters, each one having their own title or their own comic. Um, and Stan wasn't reinventing the wheel. He wasn't at that point he wasn't coming up with the new Fantastic Four where it was blowing everyone away. But but he was still, he still had that creative spark in him. Like he still wanted to be part of the industry.
I think that's so true that's kind of the key to long life is don't stop working. Don't stop doing what you like doing. Don't just
Oh yeah,
don't just
absolutely.
sit there. Yeah. So
I and I think it's that it's specifically that generation, that World War II generation. Um, Personally, I know my grandfather, when he retired, all that meant was he went from working 80 hours a week to 40 hours a week. That was him retiring.
yeah.
So I feel like that was the same with Stan. That there was no way Stan knew how to go relax on a beach somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you always saw him. So I looked at a page called Stanley Cameos, and it almost breaks the internet. There are so many things that he appeared in. Well, he
Mhm.
basically appeared in every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. And wasn't that explained at one point that isn't he like? It's not a coincidence that he just appears.
Um, I think it's more of a like a fun internet theory that he is like this,
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
he's this, like, yeah, like he's this cosmic entity that
Yeah,
just
yeah.
just appears as in different places and times. And yeah, no, it's, yeah, that's just, but that is fun that he the idea that this old man is just all over the place.
You
He
know
even
it's gonna happen somewhere in the movie. It's like, where are they gonna put him in?
Right. Well, and they even managed to do it. I don't know if they did it in every Netflix series, but I do remember in the first season of Daredevil, which even though it's not a movie, it's still the Netflix shows still take place technically in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they
Right.
make reference to a lot of the events from the movies. Um, at one point, there's a scene, and it's one of those blink and you'll miss it moments. Um, the Daredevil, or Matt Murdock, is in a police station, and on a poster is like the policeman of the month or something, or it's a wanted poster or something, but it's got Stan's face on it.
It is. He is technically been in
Yeah.
um, every one of those Netflix
Hmm.
shows. Yeah, he's and they've even identified him. I guess he's identified as Captain Irving Forbush. So
Yeah.
yes. So
Well, and it
sorry,
even
go ahead.
goes back to, well, I'm sorry, yeah, it even goes back to, I think he started making appearances. Um, I want to say he was in, I don't know if he was in all of the made for TV Incredible Hulk movies, but I'm pretty sure he was in the one called The Trial of the Incredible Hulk. I think he was like in a courtroom scene or something like that. But I mean, going all the way back to the Lou Ferrigno Hulk era, I mean, Stan has managed to make himself known.
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny. I remember in the first Iron Man, uh, uh, what was it? Tony Stark was like, "Hey, it's Hugh Hefner."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's had some great moments. I mean, just great. It's going to be sad to in the first movie that he's not in is going to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, you figure what's coming up next. Obviously, Avengers 4, Captain
And
Marvel, and
yeah,
there's one more I think that's coming. That's already kind of been filmed. I'm not sure what, but you know, you figure they already filmed that, so he'll be in those. But then, yeah, after that, and then at the next one they'll be like dedicated to Stan Lee, and people are gonna lose their minds. So
yeah, it's gonna be you're gonna have a heavy heart, watching that one.
Right. So, all right, sir. So what you have Comic Book Pitt? How's that going?
Oh, it's great. We're in our 10th year of talking comic books, and we have a lot of fun. We now record at Sorgatron Media Studios in Beachview, which is just maybe 10 or 15 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. It's great. We're still having a great time. I mean, we've been doing it for 10 years. We're closing in on 300 episodes, and it still feels just as fresh as the day we started. We're just having
10 years.
Yeah, we started 2008. I went to my first pod camp in 2006 actually, but we didn't get started until 2008.
Holy cow, that's I've been doing this for 3 months. But you have other podcasts. How's the pilot season podcast going?
Oh, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks for asking about that. So that's the pilot season podcast. That's a show that I do with my wife Jen, and she was never really into podcasting, but I always had this idea for this show where instead of doing a television review show of a series or a bunch of different episodes or whatever, I thought it would be fun to do just the first episode of a television show, and and the kind of the rule, the unofficial rules are it has to be one that either we've never seen before, or it's been we haven't seen since we were a kid, and it's a lot of fun. We're watching we watch some things that that are super popular that neither of us have ever watched, and then we watch some things that are really out there that nobody should watch. But it's a lot of fun. We have not been doing that one for 10 years. That one's only been going a little over a year, and that's one of those things, kind of when we can get to it type of thing, because if you're in any kind of relationship, there's always some, you always got stuff going on, but this is just a nice thing that she and I do together, and it's a lot of fun, and she enjoys it. So
maybe that'll inspire me to do a podcast with my wife, although I'm not sure what we would do it with. But it's funny when you watch a pilot, when you watch the very first episode of a series, and then you see what it becomes and how it grows and stuff, and it's just like, I'm sure when they first put it out, maybe it wasn't exactly what it eventually became, but it's cool to see the beginnings of that. I watch Big Bang Theory, and sometimes they show the pilots, like, wow, this has really come a long way.
What's funny is, and I've seen that, I've seen the show. I'm not a regular viewer, but I do know, and I do know that I think there was a different Penny in the pilot.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Yeah, and you're right. So a lot of times because they'll shoot these pilots, months in advance, not knowing if it's going to get picked up or not. So between the time they make that first episode and the time the show actually gets picked up, things change.
Yeah. So. Yeah, some of those actors aren't available anymore or whatever, because I think it's called pilot season, where they just a bunch of people looking for jobs, and they just get together for this, and so maybe they'll be available, maybe they won't, and things change. So, all right, sir, thank you so much, Dan Greenwald, Comic Book Pitt.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Pilot season podcast. Yeah, it was great meeting you at the podcast convention. So maybe we could.
Yes.
I'll see you again at something else.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
All right, thanks for listening. We'll be back Sunday with another episode to recap the Steelers-Jaguars game and the action in the NFL. Thanks again to Leah Blasko from the Pens blog, Anthony Dinardo from Northshore 9, and Dan Greenwald from Comic Book Pitt. Talk to you later. Another episode is in the bag.
Special for coffee?